they're definitely light. They're definitely sporty. So if that's what you're looking for, they do have a nice squish factor to them also. You know, like the foam is decent. The footbed isn't terrible. I'm sure that that rise in the heel would kind of start to break in over time. All right, it finally came a couple days late, but this is the Adidas Supernova foam shoe. This is another discontinued foam offering from Adidas. I had to go on eBay to acquire this. There was a viewer that had requested it. Am I recording? Yep, it's recording. So I was unaware of it until the request was made. So if you have a foam shoe or a foam slide out there that you wished for a video on, leave a message and I will try to acquire it if possible. So what's this guy giving me? Bookmarker. So yeah, this seems to be kind of a foam runner type of offering. Foam runner type of shoe. I don't know the history on it. I just tried to find some info on it on Adidas, and the last posting they had on it was like a year ago on their website. So they claim that these are 20% recycled materials. I believe it's the Adidas foam. I think that's a specific foam. The shoebox has seen better days. So the sizing information I found said to go down in size, so I went with an 11. And there was a couple different offerings on eBay. They had a black, a white, and there was a green pair. I was trying to get the green pair, but they wanted like 60 for it. So I had favorited this black pair, and they offered like a really good discount on it. So I ended up paying like $39, like 40 bucks for them or something. So I went with the black pair instead of the green, even though the green pair probably would have been a little better looking. I had to save the $20 just because I already spent way too much money on foam shoes and foam slides. So if I can save 20 bucks on a pair, then I will do so. Unless it's like a really, really cool colorway, but I didn't really see these as being something that I was really gonna like wear a lot after the review. So if they are, then I'll go and find another colorway, but I don't anticipate that being the case. So if I can save 20 bucks, then hey, that's $20 towards another pair of slides, you know? All right. So let me set those here, get this centered, and read the posting on the Adidas website just to give them a little background information. I always feel ignorant when I open these boxes and I don't know what to say about them. So on Adidas website, the description says, these futuristic shoes are made in part with recycled materials. No laces, no socks, just style and speed. The Adidas Adidas Supernova shoes were born to move fast. Their one-piece construction gives you the freedom of a slip-on with the performance of a runner. Step into the future of footwear and experience the ultimate in comfort and ease. A lifestyle silhouette with running DNA. These originals let your feet fly free. This product features at least 20% recycled materials. By reusing materials that have already been created, we help to reduce waste and our reliance on finite resources and reduce the footprint on the products we make. Regular fit, slip-on, one-piece Adifoam construction, contains at least 20% recycled content, imported, blah, 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 blah. So, the retail on these were $90 at one point in time. That's a little high. All right, let's take a look at them. Let me get this out of here. I don't think I can return these, so we'll just take this off. I'm pretty sure they were final sale or no returns. If they don't work, then I'll tie it back on. Let me pause this and take off this tab real quick. These, at a glance, basically look like a foam runner. Let's take a look at them first before I already start comparing them to the foam runners. But they're a foam runner. I'm already seeing a lot of similarities between them. So let's check them out. All right, so we've got kind of a linear texture on the surface, which is different. It seems to be a two-piece construction. So we've got a bottom. Here's your seam that comes across here. So I don't know. I need to research and find out how they attach these halves. So the viewer who requested these mentioned that he lives in a very humid environment, and any sort of foam shoe that has glue in its constructions tends to fall apart, he was saying, just based on the humidity. All the adhesives that they use on these disintegrate in the high humidity. So I don't know if these are fused together or if they use glue, but these are two halves, just to keep in mind. But other than that, they do look like they are one solid piece of foam. That's kind of what they were marketing to in the description, that it was a one-piece design. But I don't know, that's two to me. But anyways, so we've got that linear texture. We got the Adidas logo, which is nice. They call it the trifold or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's there. What is that called? Hang on, that's bothering me. Okay, they call it the tray foil. I knew it was kind of try something. So, the tray foil logo on the front. The ankle foot opening is very reminiscent of a foam runner. That's the first thing that stands out in comparison to the foam runners. We've got the 3 stripes on the side and a lot of cuts as well for ventilation. The toe is pretty solid though, but we've got some more ventilation cuts on the other side along with the 3. And then on the back area here, this is very reminiscent of the foam runner. Whoops, sorry. Just where like these cuts are, it makes me think of the foam runner. I really like the back of these. I like that kind of that mirrored aesthetic, like line work there. That's pretty cool. That's probably the best looking part of this entire shoe, is that back like heel panel. It's almost like a totem. It's pretty sweet looking. So, and then we've got some kind of got some nice lines here. Nice triangle. It kind of fits the back portion here, and I like how these dashed lines kind of follow the flow of this upwards. So aesthetically, that's pretty cool looking. So just visually, these look pretty good. I wish I would have been able to acquire some better colorways than just the black, but that's fine. So there's our tag. We got the tray foil logo on the bottom. The sole, the footbed looks very narrow. The sole seems to have or the insole seems to have a little bit of arch support, little ergonomics. It kind of slopes down a little bit, like where the ball is, and then kind of curves up a little bit where the arch is a little bit, and then it dips back down a little bit where the heel is. So it seems to have a little bit of an ergo to it. The overall form looks very much like a shoe. So that's one thing that kind of sets these apart from foam runners, is foam runners do not look like shoes. Foam runners look weird. But these have more of like a classic shoe silhouette to it, especially like the toe box area. Looks like it could be part of a shoe. You know, not having any cuts on the actual front area. So, and just where like the tread lugs are too, it looks more like an actual shoe. So we've got some pretty good traction on the bottom, fairly aggressive, but it's all EVA. So it's just as soft on the outsole as it is on the top, though this is a lot thinner up here, so it's a little more malleable. We seem to have some pretty decent midsole to it. We got like 1.5 inches, 2 inches here at the sole, or I mean at the heel, sorry. And then it does get a little thinner towards the front, kind of like where that is. So it shrinks down to about 1 inch, maybe, up here. And then that seems to stay consistent up where the ball and the toes are. But other than that, I think that's everything that I can address in hand. It has a really high heel, like back part to it, like the foam runners. So before we throw them on foot, let me grab a foam runner and we can just kind of compare them visually, some of the similarities. So I think they're different enough that they're not like a carbon copy, but they do have a lot of similarities. So just in terms of the overall form, here, let me move this. All right, let's look at the bottom first. So the shape is very similar, how it's kind of pointed on the toe box. The foam runners are a lot wider. This is a lot thinner. What is this thing called again? The Supernova. Because I know they have Superstars. I've been looking at the Superstars. They got a foam Superstar. I want to get the Simpsons one. It's like $200 or something on StockX. Anyways, I digress. The Supernova is a lot thinner, a lot more narrow than the foam runner. But it looks more like a standard like footprint on a shoe. All right, and let's look at the side. Oh, I got the wrong one. Hang on. Let me just grab this one. Okay. Sorry, I'm fumbling. Okay. So it's not as bulbous on the top. It tapers down a lot more like a standard shoe. That's one thing with the foam runners that's kind of weird, is how the front's very bulbous, but that probably helps with the ventilation. It's so thick though. The foam on the top is so thick. Or this is a lot thinner. This is just kind of like a standard width or thickness foam. It's just like a very thin wall. You don't have this big chunky top to it. So just the cuts are very similar, but beyond that, they really don't look as close together as I thought they did. One thing that really is similar is the opening, the foot opening. Oh, it kind of cuts towards the front a little bit more. So that really made me think of the foam runners, just seeing how this was cut. And the high back heel to it is very similar. So that's kind of one of my only gripes about the foam runners, is how high it comes up in the back. Somebody was asking about how these compared to the Rejuvenates. And they were both very similar in terms of their comfort, but the Rejuvenates are cut so much lower, they're more comfortable around the ankle. Whereas like how this comes up a little higher, it's kind of my only gripe with the foam runners. And these Supernovas have that too. It comes up a little higher on the ankle, so that might be a negative about them, but I don't know. We'll see when we put them on foot. So beyond that, they're not as close together as I thought. The foam runners have a lot of a softer, squishier foam, where these Supernovas feel more like rubber. They feel a little rubbery. That the Adidas Foam, if that's like the name of the foam that they use, I don't know. I'm assuming, since they like to reuse that word, the Adidas Foam, in a lot of different shoes and stuff. But I don't know though, because like Yeah, I don't know. We'll leave it at that. So let me throw them on foot. I think that's all I have to address about them in hand. The cuts aren't super clean. You can see there's like a little bit of a nib right there. You can see it in the window right there. And then there was another, yeah, right there too. It's a little crude of a cut. And then up here too, the windows are a little crudely cut. That's something I always look at with these foam shoes, how well they're cut, just the quality control. So, all right, we'll throw them on foot. So the style is okay. They look very kind of sporty. They look a lot like a shoe. They don't have kind of like a sci-fi thing going on with them that a lot of the foam shoes tend to do. Like the foam runners look very sci-fi to me, but these look a little more traditional, I guess you could say. So let me see if I can slide my foot in without using my hands. I don't think that's gonna work. Okay. So right off the bat, the 11s are a little snug, like where the toe box kind of tapers. I always have issues. My toes are a little wider than some, and if it doesn't have a nice wide toe box, they tend to fit a little snug. And just sliding my foot in, that seems to be the case with these. The toe box tapers a little bit. So these 11s feel a little snug. I probably should have went with the 12s. Just sizing information. You might want to go up if you're on a half size. I might try to return these. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if they might have been final sale though. I'll have to check the listing. So, aside from that, they don't feel too bad. They are narrower than the foam runners. I mean, they're grabbing onto my foot pretty well in terms of like the width and everything. They don't feel like loose or sloppy. Like all through here is very nice and secure. It's kind of really wrapping around my foot pretty well. They don't feel too small. It's just that narrow toe box. Like my toe wants to pop out. You can kind of see it. Is it coming through? Yeah, you can see it. So depending on how wide your feet are, you might want to go up. The heel has a little bit of a rise to it, but it's kind of weird because see how it kind of extends back here a little bit? Like it kind of lifts up back there. Like right here, I feel it like kind of, it curves back up a little bit right there. So it's kind of got a different, characteristic, like footprint characteristic, just stepping down on it. It's like like there's an upward slope at the very back of the heel, which is kind of different. So let's walk in them. Yeah, that arch, or I mean that heel is weird. So the highest point of the footbed is at the back of the heel. And it's not like the full heel. It curves up at the very back of the shoe, the very back of the heel, which is kind of different. And they're pretty narrow for like a foam shoe. These are probably the narrowest foam shoe that I've tried on. So the foam shoes tend to run a little wider, and these are definitely narrow. So if you have narrower feet, then you might enjoy these, but if you have wide feet, then you're probably not going to enjoy these. So I've kind of got a mixed opinion so far with them. I wish they were a little wider. I wish they were a little longer. Probably should have went with the 12s. So just keep that in mind. If you're in a half size, you should probably go up. But the softness isn't too bad. So they're very secure as far as foam shoes go. They're very secure. They're very sporty. I see why they kind of market them as like runners, because you could run in these, just how tight they fit to the foot. So they're not bad. They're just a little small. But you can see now what I was saying about the heel. I don't know if you can tell from the side angle how it kind of curves up a little bit. You can see that last cutout window on the bottom of it, how it kind of has an upward curve to it. So the heel is doing that too. Like at the very back, it kind of curves up on the ball of your heel a little bit, which is it's a noticeable characteristic. So I could see that helping if you're running in these, just to create a little more of an impact cushion for you. Just how it flexes right there. So maybe that's why they incorporated that element with the design. But I don't know who would run in these. I'm sure people do, but they just seem like they would be an awkward running shoe. I don't know if foam shoes would be really good for running in them or not. If they would have like the impact support you would need if running. It just seems like running shoes have a lot more like impact support in them than like a foam shoe would provide. But I don't know. I'm not a runner. I'm just trying to think of different things to say about these, because I'm not super impressed by them. It tends to be the case with the discontinued ones. They tend to be a little lackluster. And these are kind of falling into that category. They're a little lackluster. So, they're not too bad. It does have some nice airflow coming in on the sides as I walk. I can feel some good airflow coming in. I just got the wrong size is all. I think they would breathe a little bit better too if I'd went a size up. So they're not too bad. They're just not too good either. Like I'm not like kind of raving about them, you know. They're just kind of like meh, kind of a meh. Maybe if they had some better color options. There was like a black to white fade was the one that was still on the Adidas website, which looked kind of cool. That would be better than the solid black, but I don't know. They're not terrible. I guess you can get them for 40 bucks. And you're in need of a foam shoe. They're okay, but I don't know if I'd recommend them. I'm just not super impressed by them. So they don't look too bad, you know, like the design is okay. I just think they need to be a little wider. So I would probably like them better if I had gone with the 12s. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll try to return these if the seller will let me return them, and I'll try to find a pair of 12s. That way I can keep them for the shoe comparison video. So if I end up getting stuck with them, I'll throw them in the comparison video. But yeah, I don't know, a little disappointed with these. I was expecting a little more. I was expecting them to fit better is the main thing. All right, so I think that's all I have to say about these. Kind of bummed on them. I'll probably try to return them. And I'll try to get I'll try to get a pair of 12s with them. Maybe I'll hold out for a little bit and see if I can find a better colorway, because these would actually look pretty decent, I think, if I can get them in something other than just black. You know, maybe I'll try to get that green pair if they're available in the 12s. They're definitely light. They're definitely sporty. So if that's what you're looking for, they do have a nice squish factor to them also. You know, like the foam is decent. The footbed isn't terrible. I'm sure that that rise in the heel would kind of start to break in over time. So they're not terrible. They're just not that good. I think the foam runners are a lot better. They're a lot thinner of a foam, like around the heel area, to where it doesn't feel as kind of constricting around the heel as the foam runners do. Like, even this is as high as this is, it doesn't feel like it's as awkward as the foam runners are. So it feels kind of natural around the ankle. So like the general fit around the ankle isn't bad. So like the design of these are actually pretty decent in terms of their fit. So I'm slowly selling myself on these. They would probably grow on me the more I wore them. So I'll see if I can do a return on them. Maybe get it. I know I'll try to get a pair of 12s. But I'll get this video up because that viewer has been waiting on the video on these. So I will I'll edit this video with the clips I've got as is. I won't wait for the 12s to arrive before I get this uploaded. So I'll get this uploaded tonight so he gets this information. But yeah, they're not too bad. I think my main takeaway is they would be better if I had gotten a better size. And my main criticism of them is how snug they fit, and that's my fault for going down in size as opposed to going up. Had I gone up, I probably would have a lot better of an impression of them. So with that being said, they're really not too bad. Just make sure you get the right size, I guess would be my takeaway from them. And they're okay, especially for the price point. If you can get them for 40 bucks, that's pretty good. You know, it's like a $40 foam runner basically. And they're not as alien looking as the foam runners either. They're a little more normal looking, I would say. So, all right, so that will do it for the Adidas Supernovas. So they're okay. Just make sure you get the right size. That's kind of my main takeaway, like I said. I don't have any like major negatives about them other than them being too small for me. So I think had I gotten the right size, they would be a lot more enjoyable. I'd have a lot better of an impression of them. So aside from that, they're really not too bad. They're pretty decent, especially for the price point. You know, if you can get them for under 50, I would say they'd be worth it. But over 50, then maybe that's why they didn't last so long. Because I wouldn't say they were worth the $90 that they are retailed at. Because I don't even think foam runners had a retail of $90. That seems pretty high. So that was probably the nail in the coffin for these, because these are kind of a subpar foam runner. Like, they're not as good as the foam runners. They're kind of like a knockoff foam runner. So like, and with that in mind, they should be cheaper than the foam runners. I don't know what the foam runners initially retailed at. So those are just my thoughts about them. So would I recommend them? Yes, if you can get them for less than $50 and if you can get the right size. But if you got to pay over 50 bucks for them and they're too small for you, then that's definitely not worth the money. But all right, thanks for watching though. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. I don't know what the next one is. I've got a pair of Hokas I need to unbox and review yet, but I probably won't get to those until like midweek. And then there's a new Adidas slide that just came out that I ordered. I don't know the name of that one offhand. That one just shipped too, so I should have that this week. I'll try to get that filmed and edited and uploaded like on Thursday this upcoming week. So today's the 9th of March. So 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So the 13th of March, I should have that new Adidas slide up. And those look pretty nice. Those look pretty comfy. So I think that's all I have to say. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again. Please leave a comment if you have any experiences with these, and let me know your thoughts on them. So thanks. See ya.